Hello and welcome to 5 things I love about F123. Of course I understand the game is so early in its game's development and the game isn't even out yet. But these 5 points are so core and integral to the game's development that at worst case scenario they're going to stay the same. But more than likely they're actually going to improve over time as well. So I can say with assurance and confidence about these 5 points I'm going to be bringing up here today. The first of them is going to be the curb usage, the grass usage, the gravel usage, basically everything that is not the tarmac on the road. As you can see, driving over the curbs already, you can see a lot more consistency and stability in the curb compared to F122. I would previously feel that on F122 in previous games, sometimes the curve could be unpredictable. One lap you could use it and it would be okay, the next lap could give you oversteer, bouncing, just general lack of confidence and, like I say, consistency in that feeling as well. On F123 you can use the same curve lap over lap over lap, as long as you're doing the same line and not bottoming out the plank of the car. Your ability to run the same line and the same curve usage is spot on, to be honest, and you can run it with assurance and confidence. Although you do have to respect the curbs on this year's game, they have much less grip compared to previous iterations. It's much easier to lock up, lose traction, wheel spin, slide on them, so you do definitely have to treat them with respect. But as I say, they come with a lot more consistency and confidence, and it makes it very satisfying and rewarding if you can narrow your driving style to be able to maximise these possibilities of the game. The grass and gravel, as I'm going to talk about and show you on the exit of this corner, have been massively improved because they have so much less grip as well. And you can see I touch the grass and instantly go spinning through the gravel as well. So compared to previous games, if you touch the grass, you do instantly lose grip, and the grass can stay on the tyre for just as long as time as the previous game, but the grip loss is so much more significant, and you can find yourself even losing seconds per corner if you're not careful from that. As well as sliding, overheating and damaging the tyre is a net result as well from going on the grass and sliding as well. So, if you're in a wheel-to-wheel battle with someone, it's something that you will want to consider going forward on this game to not leave yourself vulnerable to being pushed on the grass. The second point I'm going to be bringing up in this video is the AI's intelligence around racecraft and its ability to choose different strategies in the middle of a race. Here today I was doing a test race on Canada using the wet tyres and transitioning over to dry tyres by the end of the race. And as you can see, a lot of cars have decided to go for intermediate. Charles, Sainz, Alonso. The only people are myself, Russell, Albon, Stroll, Magnussen have stayed out on the wet tyres, and take note of the gap to the cars ahead, 7.9 and 2 seconds. On lap 13 we have been caught by the intermediate runners and the tyres are overheating massively, as you can see, going into the hairpin. Just a little bit of a slide, you know, drifting through the hairpin, but just without keeping it on the road. But we've actually closed the gap by half a second for each car ahead of us, proving that we're not driving slowly and we are on pace with the AI. Now the AI are also doing an intelligent thing here, and they realise that we're losing 5 seconds per lap at the moment being on these wet tyres, and they bail out of this strategy by being on them. And you can see Charles Leclerc is all over the back of me on lap 14, but as we cut on to later, and Alonso doing a 5 seconds a lap faster lap time than me, as I was just saying, and as we cut on to a later lap as well, lap 15, you can see George Russell, who was only 7 seconds ahead of us, and now Nick Free's going 5 seconds in our best lap time, but about 8 seconds faster per lap. George Russell was 8 seconds in front of us, 7 seconds, but he's already overtaking me by being on those intermediates, just proving that the old saying of you have to be on the right tyres at the right time is more prominent and more important than ever in F123. And look at the aggression, the attacking from the AI. Me and Russell do actually make contact here because we were 3 wide and it was a bit of a squeeze, but this is really a massive improvement from the AI. One, to go 3 wide there, but also for George Russell to keep the foot in and not lose 3 seconds by being off the track there. Previous games he would have slowed down maybe 50 kilometers an hour and he would have lost so much time by being pushed off the track, whereas he stayed aggressive, stayed committed, and now you can see he's already made the move past us, and this is a massively great sign in my opinion that the AI are going to be so much more aggressive, go for moves, and they won't be as easily forced out of time by being pushed off the track on this year's game. And as you can see, just coming into the box now and then going to the medium compound tyres and finishing off that race. The next point I want to be talking about is actually the immersion in the game, and that goes down to the graphics, the audio, everything that makes you visibly and audibly imagine that you're being a Formula 1 driver. It just feels good, to be honest. It feels right. And we can talk about the graphics all day long. You know, we've already talked about the graphics, and so many people have already talked about the graphics, I should say. They're beautiful on this year's game, stunning, but also the audio is amazing. The car sounds, the crowd sounds, the helicopter sounds, the curve sounding as well is just another step above what they had in F1 22, and it's just getting more and more lifelike, and it's so satisfying to listen to. The next point I'm going to be talking about is actually the general handling model and the tyre model to go with that. And in this year's game, as I alluded to with the curbing, is much more consistent and much more rewarding than previous year's game. I felt on previous year's game that if you did one thing on one lap, it wouldn't always be the same on the next lap, whereas this year's game, providing that you're doing the same input and you haven't overheated the tyres, the car will perform the same as it did on the previous lap, and it's so rewarding to build on confidence and lap time and ultimately develop setups around this as well. The time model is very sensitive, but in a positive way. We always hear from real life the Pirelli rubber is ultra sensitive, and that is exactly the same in the F1 game. You have new tyre windows. Each tyre compound has its own specific temperature and working range that you have to nail to get the lap time out of it, and I love that, and I'm so excited to explore these new realms of finding lap time, finding confidence, and ultimately enjoyment within maximising these parameters of the game. And something that also brings me so much enjoyment is this final point that I'm bringing up is a new feature that removes input lag from F1 23, and it's called the NVIDIA Reflex, and that gives low latency and ultimately makes the car feel more connected, because if you have input lag, it feels a bit rubbish, to be honest, but taking away the input lag is a huge step forward, and I absolutely love this about the F1 game, and ultimately something that was missing in previous games, and I'm very happy and I feel grateful now that this is here, because if there's something I hate in sim racing games, that is input lag. So there we have it, the 5 things I already think F1 23 is doing better than F1 22 and the previous iterations of the Formula 1 game. If you have any questions about F1 23 that you want me to answer, post them in the comments below and I will make it my top priority to get back to you as fast as possible. If you have any video ideas that you'd want to see about F1 23, post them down below and I can see if it's possible to make for you as well. I've been Brendan Lee. Thank you so much for watching this video and taking the time out of your day. I truly do appreciate it. The love and support on this channel recently and over my full social medias has been absolutely insane. I love seeing the positivity and I love watching the community grow. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye.